Everybody wants a big set of arms, and very often that means not just training our biceps, it means attacking our triceps too. But we can't just attack our triceps with the latest, greatest exercise off of Instagram. Very often those are the exercises that simply don't work. That's what we're covering in today's edition of the Don't List. We're gonna look at triceps exercises that are just a complete waste of your time. And we're gonna start the list off with the crossbody skull crusher. Now the crossbody skull crusher is a bodybuilding exercise that you may have seen a certain Arnold Schwarzenegger doing, and that certainly makes it awesome. But the problem with the crossbody triceps exercise is it leaves us in a lot of internal rotation when we're doing it at the shoulder joint. That will attack your triceps well, but it is not great for your long-term shoulder health. Instead of doing that crossbody skull crusher, let's just grab 2 dumbbells. Let's get ourselves into a good tight position with our elbows close to our thighs, getting into external rotation, and that's gonna be a way that you can still hammer the exact same elbow extension principle that you wanna get out of your triceps without any of the long-term issues that you might have with your shoulder. Another exercise you want to avoid for your triceps is the bench dip, in particular the weighted bench dip. Yes, this is a great ego exercise, and it's certainly an exercise that you think you can do anywhere. You can throw a bunch of plates on your lap, set up on a bench, and then all of a sudden you're doing dips. But the problem with that is, again, we're winding up in this position of internal rotation, and now you've done it with plates on you that are also taking away your ability to just move naturally through the pattern of elbow extension. So instead of doing that, if you really want to do a weighted body weight exercise, then let's just go to a weighted close grip push-up. You're still gonna get to work on extending at the elbow. We're gonna get a much better range of motion, and it's gonna be a lot easier on your shoulders. It's crazy, but when you're training your triceps, the thing you want to avoid is putting your shoulders under strain, and too many triceps moves place you in a position where you're gonna place your shoulders under strain, and that's just not worth it. We don't need that to really train elbow extension, which is what we're getting from our triceps. Third exercise to avoid is the dumbbell kickback. Yes, the dumbbell kickback is a really good way to get good squeeze on our triceps, but it is not an exercise that's really challenging your triceps through anywhere near its full range of motion. At the bottom of the dumbbell kickback, absolutely nothing is happening. At the top, you get that good squeeze and we get all the tension, but it's really easy to get ourselves rocked into that position, to basically use momentum to get ourselves to the top, and that just isn't the best way to train your triceps. Instead of doing the dumbbell kickback, we want to look at something called an X press down. Now this is a variation on your standard press down, but now you're going to have a crossbody position, and because of that, a couple things happen that are really good. The first of which is, 1, we get all of that mid-back squeeze and tension that we really have to manage during our dumbbell kickback, and 2, we get to really challenge our triceps both in the stretch position when we're at the top of this exercise and in the flex position, so we're getting a lot more out of this for our triceps. Another exercise you want to avoid is something called the dumbbell overhead extension. Now when we're doing the 2-arm overhead extension, the great problem with this is, again, you're slipping into internal rotation at the shoulder joint, and yes, you're gonna get an okay squeeze with your triceps, but at the very top of the motion, you're also not getting a whole lot out of it because our joints essentially get to stack. So what we want to do, instead of doing this with a dumbbell, we can basically do a cable overhead extension. You can do this on an incline bench. Now you're gonna get a really good stretch at the bottom. At the top, we've still got tension from that cable too, so you get a really good squeeze on your triceps, and we can work to get our elbows in tight, and we can work to keep our shoulders out of internal rotation. That's gonna get you a lot more life and a lot more health for your shoulders in the long term while still crushing your triceps. The worst exercise when it comes to training your triceps is an exercise you think you can take anywhere, but it just doesn't travel as well, and it just isn't as useful as you think, and that is the diamond push-up. Now in the diamond push-up, we're gonna get into a standard push-up position, but we're gonna make a diamond shape with our hands. That's pushing our shoulders very close, and it's really easy, especially when we're obsessed with that diamond position, to slip into internal rotation at the shoulder joint, and so we're just not putting our shoulders in a healthy position, even if we do get a relatively good squeeze on our triceps. Now instead of doing the diamond push-up, all we're gonna do is change our hand position and make this a basic close grip push-up. When we're in this close grip push-up, we wanna get our hands ever so slightly narrower than shoulder width, but because we're in that position, we're still gonna get the same benefits of the diamond push-up without placing our shoulders at any risk. We still get to drive all the way down into the bottom of that close grip push-up position, and when we come up, we're getting great elbow extension. This is another exercise that you can load so you can really push things farther. So get the diamond push-up out of your repertoire, and let's go with the standard close grip push-up instead. Your shoulders will feel much better, and your triceps will still get blowed up.